the wife was captured by a tribe of cannibals. Because of her outstanding beauty, she was tied to a wooden stake and raised high, about to be sacrificed to their god. Meanwhile, her husband was placed in a small boat and set adrift, destined to be offered to the sea god. At the chief's command, the surrounding firewood was set ablaze. Unexpectedly, the wife faced death with calmness, because just moments ago, her husband had asked for a divorce. Her heart was already dead. Without the nourishment of love, her flesh meant nothing to her anymore. On the other side, the husband suddenly woke up on the sacrificial boat. As he was about to be swept into a bottomless abyss, he grabbed onto vines at the cliff's edge and barely escaped death. The first thing he thought of was saving his wife. He smeared himself in dark mud to blend in and sneaked into the tribal group, unnoticed by the cannibals, who were fully immersed in their ritual. Quietly, he stole a dagger and approached his wife. He jumped up and stabbed the dagger into the wood beside her, hoping she would cut the ropes and escape. But the wife, still consumed by the pain of the divorce, was ready to die and remained motionless. Seeing her so hopeless, the husband grew anxious. He said everything he said earlier was wrong, and this was no time for pride. He pleaded until his mouth went dry, but she still wouldn't respond. Desperate, he shook her thigh. This strange act caught the attention of the wise tribal chief. The husband reacted quickly. He seized the chief's spear and took him hostage, ordering everyone to step back. At this moment, the husband had a realization. Without his wife, he didn't want to live. She had already sacrificed too much for him. Now it was his turn. These heartfelt words finally seemed to reach her. He thought she'd use the knife to cut herself free, but instead, she threw the dagger to the ground and coldly said, "You can't even install a TV. What could you possibly sacrifice for me?" In the end, the husband was taken away by the tribe. The chief lit the bonfire again, preparing to offer the wife as a sacrifice. But the husband suddenly broke free, punched out the chief's teeth, then kicked away the fire. With all his strength, he pulled the wooden pole out of the ground and lifted his wife up, leaping with her into the sea. In midair, he gave her a deep, loving kiss as they both plunged into the sea of love. Miraculously, they were unharmed after hitting the water, but the cannibals weren't about to let them go so easily. The chief ordered his people to throw spears into the ocean. To dodge the incoming attacks, the husband kept rolling his wife into the water to protect her. Even in this life-or-death moment, the wife began negotiating. She would forgive him, but under two conditions. First, if he ever dared to mention divorce again, she'd roast him like a lamb. Second, no matter how busy he was with work, he must always consider her feelings. After the husband agreed to all her conditions, the wife finally cooperated. She cut the ropes and escaped with him. He stole the sacrificial boat and dragged it into the sea with his wife. Just then, a muscular warrior spotted them and rushed at them with an axe. To protect her, the husband helped his wife escape first, then turned to face the attacker head-on. He knocked the brute out with one powerful strike. Seeing her husband risk his life for her, the wife finally understood his true feelings. The two of them rowed away in the boat, reconciled, and returned to their normal life. To be with his wife, the husband resigned from his high-paying job. From that day on, he devoted himself fully to her and no longer cared about work.